Hey everyone, so this is a very impromptu live. I was actually gonna film a video, but I felt like I knew in my spirit I was gonna probably talk for a minute, so I didn't want to try to waste up too much space on my phone. But you guys, I have had so many downloads, right? And the main one that I really been dealing with or experiencing is, I've made a video about it previously, like my last video on the mommy water spirit. And so I've dove in deeper. Well, yeah, I took a deeper dive into that, and I watched The Little Mermaid again. Mind you, The Little Mermaid was one of my favorite films as a kid, but I understood it on a completely different level watching it today. All right, but before we even get started, you guys, if you're new to my channel, subscribe if you feel the vibe, you know what I'm saying? Give your girl a thumbs up, share, like, and comment, all of that good stuff, okay? But yeah, I did a lot of research within like a matter of a couple of days. That's how I get when I get when I get hit with like intuitive messages and then I find them to be valid and I start to do the history around it and I'm like even more mind blown. So I'll just start with the spirit of Mommy Wata. I talked a little bit about who Mommy Wata, aka Yamaje Olokun, was in my last video. So I'll link that down below if you want to see that. But the symbolisms, I guess, in the Little Mermaid film is kind of what I want to touch on, and kind of what I learned about, how it's just been demonized in the Christian religion. And you guys, I'm not opposed to Christianity. I am just on my spiritual journey and I'm just following my own path. Who knows where I'll end up. I haven't jumped into African traditional religion because, you want to be mindful of the covenants that you sign when you just start dabbling in shit that you just don't know and you're not ready for. You'll hear a lot of spiritualists tell you that don't start worshiping and praying to idols if you don't intend on seeing that lifestyle all the way through, because a lot of the times you're going to create contracts and deals with these spiritual beings, and the spiritual realm is completely real, okay? I think a lot of people think that they walk around with these certain titles, like, oh yeah, I'm a Christian, I'm saved by Jesus Christ, and they don't realize that, okay, just because you're saved by Jesus Christ, that doesn't mean that your prayer life should lack. That doesn't mean that you should stop fasting. Like, you have to do these things to keep up your spiritual endurance, or you will be attacked. And think of all the wars that are currently going on in the 3D realm. Imagine what is going on in the spiritual realm. It is real. And I feel like as a spiritualist on my own journey, I've been hit with a lot of I wouldn't say spiritual attacks, but a lot of spiritual warfare in a sense. But I know that I'm highly protected and I do what I need to do to keep that armor of God up on me. Okay, period. But yeah, so let's start from the African traditional religion perspective. So in African traditional religion, they have these Orishas. And like I said, I'm going to do a video around the Orishas and it's going to help me study more and, you know, hopefully help you guys with a little bit of insight. I'm not a specialist on the Orisha lifestyle because I have not been initiated, but I know, you know, the surface elementary level of it. Okay. So anyways, in African traditional religion, a lot of people may have heard of the Orisha lifestyle, in the Ifa religion or practice, right? And very popular Orishas that Beyonce and a lot of famous people like to call out on is the Orisha of the river, which is Oshun, and the goddess, the Orisha of the ocean, which is Yamaje Olokun. So you may hear a lot of people talk about these spirits in voodoo and hoodoo. Well, not hoodoo so much, but voodoo and ATRs and different things like that. Santeria, all of those Afro-Caribbean spiritual practices. And pretty much a lot of, yeah, I'll just say the word witches, will work with those type of spirits and idols to, you know, balance the energies of maybe things that people are struggling with or that they are struggling with. So pretty much the goddess of the ocean, Yamaje, that is the Little Mermaid tale, right? And if you see in the Little Mermaid, there was two different type of kingdoms, right? And queendoms, right? Of the ocean. So you had the Little Mermaid unit or the Little Mermaid kingdom where the father, he basically maintained this beautiful community of mermaids, and a lot of them were beautiful women and they just were love and light. You know, they had like a family unit, a sisterhood or what have you. And Ariel, she desired to be at the top of the ocean. She desired to be a human, right? But what was so crazy about it was, in the book of, and I'll get to the Christian part, but I just want to say this before I forget. That's bestiality, okay? We gonna talk about it because, in a sense, that really talks about bestiality, because how is it possible if all of this stuff is real, right? Which I believe it is. It's folklore tales, but they come from somewhere, right? The stories come from something that could be real. So if that's the case, you know, in the Bible, they talk about, and don't give me the line, I got to find the scripture, but they talk about bestiality and how it was a sin and all of these things because somebody had to have sex with a fish in order to become like some sort of human hybrid, right? So let's talk about that. Okay, so anyways, she desired to be human. She desired to be full-bred human. She used to swim to the top of the ocean and pick up collectibles, and she would sing, and that talks about the whole siren aspect of it, when the pirates would go on ships and they would hear these lovely voices and it would lure them in and they would basically kill them or what have you, or they would get lost basically in the voice of the siren, right? AKA the Starbucks symbol. Okay, because anytime you see a Starbucks, what you do? Anytime you see it, oh, I gotta stop and get me a banana nut bread. Okay, period. Anyways, let me get back to the story. So, yeah, so they had the kingdom, which was, you know, ran by the father, the merman, and he had his daughter Ariel, who was very defiant. She was beautiful and she had a beautiful voice, and all of her sisters just, you know, wanted to present her and help her find a, you know, a lovely merman and things like that. However, she desired to live with the humans. So she ended up visiting the negative spirit, which in my opinion, you know, as above so below, that's a big spirituality phrase, right? As so above so below. So above the ocean, well, in the ocean, but above there was the lightness, right? That was ran by a man. And then they had the darkness, right? Which was ran by Ursula, and she had all her bottom feeders and, you know, all of those things. And basically Ariel went down to visit Ursula because somebody told her, hey, you know, one of her little minions, the little devils, you know, like the little satanic agents or whatever, like they'll say in the Christian religion, the satanic agents came up to her and was just like, hey, we know what you want. We can give you what you want. Come visit Ursula, the sea witch, the bottom of the sea witch. She'll give you, you know, whatever. And so, of course, Ariel and her father got into it, and she went to go visit her. And Ursula basically made her sign a contract, y'all. Made her sign a contract that if she gave up her voice, her lovely voice, that she could have legs for 3 days. And the symbolism of 3, y'all know 3 is a powerful number, okay? 333, Holy Trinity number. Anyways, so she could have legs for 3 days. So she goes up to the lady, she gets the potion, she does the spell, and quickly Ariel turns into a human. And so, but she has no voice to communicate. Anyway, she starts falling in love with the prince and everything, and next thing you know, just like the enemy does, bait and switch, right? So she tricked her, and Ursula decided to use her voice and pretend that she was the one who, oh yeah, because she had saved him when there was a shipwreck. Ariel had saved the Prince Charming when there was a shipwreck. I skipped that whole part. But anyway, so Ursula, she basically uses the voice of Ariel to lure in her husband. And what she did was, if you notice, Ursula was an octopus spirit. She was an octopus. Okay. Oh my gosh, she was the octopus. And you guys can Google what the octopus spirit is, I'll tell you. But it's basically somebody who uses manipulation and mind tricks to seduce men, right? And so even like when she was at the bottom of the ocean, she was putting on makeup and lipstick, red lipstick. And, you know, it's just been this whole trend on TikTok that you'll see like women be like, yeah, you red nails, and that'll get a man, that'll get any man you want if you wear red nails. And it's just like the symbolisms one after another. So I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, this shit is real. So then yeah, so basically Ursula ends up turning her back, you know, doing some foul shit, right? Some witchy shit and demonic shit, pretty much. Anyway, so back to African traditional religion. So in African traditional religion, you have Yamaje, which, like I said, is more of the Ariel spirit. She is the beauty, she is the light, she is the nurturer, the caring one. And then you have Ursula, which would be Olokun, who is kind of the depths of the ocean. She's the more quote unquote negative spirit. Now you have to know, in African traditional religion, they don't believe in good and bad. They don't believe in hell. You know, they think that that was something that was created to keep people in fear, right? They just believe in challenges, and you turn your challenges into blessings. You manipulate that energy and you turn it into something better, right? Because that's just kind of what I believe is just the law of nature, in a sense, is that we all have light and darkness in us somewhere. You know, we all have dark periods in our lives, but can you transmute that energy? Can you turn your dark and pitiful and depressing days into something beautiful, right? Can you do that? And that's what in the African in the ATRs, that's kind of what they believe in. They believe in that if you sacrifice certain things, or if you and I mean sacrifice, you know, people believe in blood sacrifice, but I'm not even saying you got to go that deep. I'm saying like maybe you're sacrificing, like fasting in a way, you know, you're sacrificing weed, or you're sacrificing alcohol, or whatever. You're giving up something to get something else in return. So being that if you work with this energy and manipulate it, you can kind of turn this challenge into a blessing. Okay, so that is what the ATR, the African traditional religions, usually believe in. They believe in working with the energy opposed to casting it out and being delivered from it, right? So in Christianity, I was then able, okay, so before I started into the Christianity, so after I connected the two and put everything together, I then started my research. Marine Kingdom. What is the Marine Kingdom? Okay. Child, I went on and Google went ham on me, okay? And showed me all this stuff about it's specifically in Africa, you know. They're very religious people, very spiritual place, and you know, people have their beliefs, you know, and I'm not here to say what's right and what's wrong. I'm just here to be the messenger, okay? So there they, you know, a lot of pastors believe that that is a demonic spirit, right? Because technically that spirit is a spirit of charm. So if you know anything about Oshun, Oshun is like the sexy, beautiful, she's very lustful, you know. Yamaje, she has all the babies, and you know, she's just the goddess of the sea and all of these things, right? Even Beyonce, she refers herself to Oshun. She does give Oshun energy because Beyonce's sexy as fuck, right? Anyway, so Oshun is, yeah, so basically in the Christian religion, they think that that is a negative spirit. They think that that was sort of the energy that Eve was in, right? When she tempted Adam with the apple, with her coochie, right? That's what she tempted him with. But the mere fact is that because we live in this, okay, so I'm not even going to get into that because it sounds like I'm taking a side, but I'm going to keep speaking on how I feel like, you know, how the Christians view it. So they think that, you know, it's demonic for women to wear makeup. It's demonic for women to try to change their looks and, you know, be sexy and to lure men and to, you know, seduce men. It's like a very succubus spirit. They compare it a lot to like the Jezebel spirit, you know, just women using their charm and their sexiness to take advantage of men. Right. So in Christianity, it's known as a lustful energy, a lustful spirit. And they actually think too that these spirits can attack you in your sleep. They can, you know, have sex with you. And I'm actually thinking about that part in Scary Movie, I think it was the first one, where she was getting like done up by the spirit, you remember? And anyway, so yeah, that is called a succubus marine spirit. You can have like a merman or a mermaid that is like trying to siren you in, take your husband away from you, you know, like. And so basically they feel like that same energy plays out in human form, right? When women go around going to church being all sexy, showing their breasts, you know, trying to flirt with the pastor, like they demonize women for that, having that type of energy, saying that, you know, they have been possessed by these marine spirits. Oh my gosh. And so they have like all these videos on YouTube of like people saying that they've been delivered and that they're not like that anymore. They're not into homosexuality no more. They're not into having multiple partners and being promiscuous, and they believe that Jesus Christ saved them from all of that, right? And I'm not here to say that that's wrong, right? Because that's just not my business, right? That's my personal belief or whatever the case may be. But they believe that, Jesus Christ, he saves you from all of those spirits, right? And they've been delivered. So you'll see like pastors exorcising, that demon spirit. And then you'll even see some people who actually work with these spirits to do negative shit to people, right? I seen one video of these women on the Africa beach, and they were praying to the ocean saying that they wish this guy who I guess was cheating on them or whatever, did them wrong, was wishing that everything that he has will fail, wishing that his man parts don't work anymore. Like, they were going ham. And so at the end of the day, karma is real. That shit comes back to you. You want to do negative witchcraft on people, it's gonna come back at you. That's just my personal belief. And that's why I said spiritual warfare is very much real, and you better stay prayed up, okay? Because don't think that Christians ain't doing it neither, just because they go to church. Remember, church is for sinners, okay? We all sin, right? So you need to know that spiritual warfare is pretty much real on both spectrums, okay? So so it was just like, wow. So they demonize it in the Christian religion. But just watching The Little Mermaid and all of the symbolisms, down from the makeup to her visiting the sea witch, to the sea witch making her sign a contract, right? And my moral of this point is that it's very much true on both aspects, in the Christian religion and the ATR religion, that you can sign contracts that you are not ready for. Can we get into it? All right, let's talk about having multiple sex partners real quick. You are signing contracts, all right? Every time a man semens in you, you are signing a contract to be that man's wife, to be that man's soul tie, all right? And let's be real, a lot of people don't really know about cord cutting. All right, you're signing these contracts with people, taking baths with people, doing things with people that are very spiritual and very contractual, and you're wondering why you have so much energy that is not of you. You're wondering why you can't think straight. You're wondering why you've done opened up Pandora's box. I remember when I lost my virginity, the first thing, I got a little scared. Anyway, we can do a story time about that because that was kind of funny. But I got scared. And I remember telling my mom, and my mom was like, sis, you done opened up Pandora's box. Once you start, you ain't never gonna stop. And when she said that shit was real, because now your body is craving it, right? Child. So, and then even on a deeper level, we you want to talk about generational trauma. A lot of times, especially in African American history, just think about the fact that we traveled across the Atlantic Ocean, doing, in slavery. And a lot of our ancestors jumped. Sorry about that. A lot of our ancestors jumped overboard. And so just think of all of the spirits that are in the ocean. Y'all, think of all the spirits that are in the ocean. That's just one little theory that I have. I haven't really dove deep into that. But then there's another theory about, and for me, this is not even a theory anymore. This is kind of proven to be true, right? A lot of our ancestors, grandparents, mama and them, right? Because that energy is very much a feminine energy. Not saying that it can't come from your father, because it definitely can, right? Because we all have that feminine and masculine energy, right, in us. And so you talk about if you ever had a grandparent that maybe was a big drinker, or a grandparent who maybe had multiple baby daddies, or a grandparent who was maybe a side chick and turned into a wife, it's crazy to me. Or vice versa, was a side husband, and all of that stuff. But back in the day, especially African Americans, a lot of our ancestors and grandparents practiced witchcraft. It's just what it is. They did a lot of root work. It's called hoodoo. Okay? And hoodoo is still very much, even though it's Christian, it has a Christian basis to it, because we used a lot of the scriptures out of the Bible to do this type of root work. You still have to understand that when you were visiting the Mama Fosse's and the, madams and all of that, that those specific practitioners and witches could have been working with idols, such as marine spirits. And if you're talking about a lot of women, let's be clear, when they do work, they're doing work on men. Okay, we're going to sip to that. They're doing work on men, because most women, they're doing work to make their relationship better, get their husband from, stop their husband from cheating on them, all of these things. So you're visiting these witches and these practitioners, and you are not really even well versed, because you're an African American that don't have, struggling, probably living in poverty, been molested and abused all your life, and you just hear about this woman down the street around the corner who can make your marriage right. You not really sure who she calling on to, but you all you know is she using some black eyed peas, she using a little bit of your menstrual blood, whatever. And you sign, and your grandma and them is signing contracts, working with these idols of the sea. And then now things have took a turn, because who knows what their intentions were, right? So things have taken a turn, and now your bloodline has to deal with that. You done passed away and moved on, but now your grandchildren and them have to deal with the fact that now they don't know why they like to have sex no more. They don't know why they love attention from men no more. You don't know why your daughter being fast and grown at the age of 8. And I'm just like, whoa, wow. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, can we be delivered? Is my question. Leave a comment down below. Can you be delivered? Or do you heal by breaking the curse yourself? Does Jesus do it for you, or do you do it for yourself? Because I like to think that a lot of us have a savior complex, right? We expect Jesus to save, but one thing I love about ATR is that it's all about accountability. And the thing is, a lot of people think that ATR religions don't believe in one God. They actually do believe in the Most High. They believe in a God that is the all-knowing, the most powerful. But they also believe that we all have these primordial energies within us. And when you talk about zodiac signs and how some of us are water signs, what does that really mean? If you're a water sign, now y'all know I read tarot, right? And the Queen of Cups in reverse, you don't never want to be that. Okay? You don't never want to be the Queen of Cups in reverse, baby, because that means your Olokun, that means your Ursula is acting a fool. Okay? And it just made me think like, wow, how many people are struggling, truly struggling with these spirits, and they don't know how to balance them. They don't know how to relieve themselves of these curses. Mind you, this can be so damaging. You know, it can ruin marriages. It does ruin marriages because pretty much that Olokun energy, you've done suppress all of your emotions so much that you become cold. You become cold. And now you wondering why you can't ever stay committed in a relationship. You wondering why, you know, you having multiple abortions back to back. You wondering why you can get a man, but you can't never stay satisfied. You always jumping from the next to the next. You wondering why you having image issues, why you feel like you got to put makeup on and be somebody completely different than who you are. Seeing the beauty in yourself. Oh, gosh. Y'all, it's deep. But we going into 30 minutes, child. And I honestly am mind blown. I'm completely mind fucked. Okay? I am mind fucked. And so, yeah, that's something to ponder on. But I'm gonna let y'all go. It was fabulous getting this off my chest. Like I said, you know, don't be so quick. If you're new to African traditional religion, don't be so quick to run to an idol. Get your Ori right first. Work on your higher self first. And if you feel like this is something that you're struggling with yourself personally, do the work. Do the work. Let it out, you know, because that energy is very self-destructive. And more importantly, it can fuck up your money. It can. Because let's be honest. Let's keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Emotions, being overly emotional can ruin friendships, can ruin business contracts. It can ruin a lot. That's why they always say business is not personal, baby. It's not personal. This is business. So learning how to control your emotions and keep them in check, but still honoring them, is very important, especially if you're a water sign. And especially if you know that you've been dealing with these feelings for years and you don't know where it's coming from. Most likely it's generational. And if you believe in Christianity, if you believe in Jesus Christ, then you know that Jesus can save you, right? But if you choose to go the other way, then go the other way. Do what you got to do. But more importantly, take accountability. You're responsible for your own healing. All right? I love y'all, fam. I will see y'all in the next